Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A Sioux Falls man accused of threatening to shoot a judge remains in the Minnehaha County Jail this morning.
Gregory Roberts appeared in court Thursday afternoon. The prosecutor said he has a meth problem and has been going through Veterans Court. Roberts was booked into jail again Wednesday. As an officer locked up his gun, the prosecutor says Roberts threatened to shoot the judge and went on to say that he would commit mass murder like we have never seen.
A public defender asked that he be released on a PR bond, saying Roberts has family in the area and needs to go to physical therapy. The judge said words matter and set his bond at $10,000 cash only.
The man accused of robbing and raping a cashier at a Sioux Falls casino will stay in jail unless he can post $1 million cash-only bond. Marion Brooks made his first court appearance Thursday afternoon.
Police say just before 11 o'clock Tuesday night, Brooks went into Ace's casino with a stolen gun and demanded cash. The cashier gave him the money. Then police say Brooks pushed her to the ground and raped her. Brooks has a long criminal history in both South Dakota and Iowa. The uncle of George Floyd, who lives in Gettysburg, South Dakota, is facing drug charges following a possible meth overdose. Court documents say authorities were called to a motel on June 10th. Investigators say Selwyn Jones, who operates the motel, was found unresponsive with 2 meth pipes nearby.
Court documents say Jones was released on a PR bond following George Floyd's death in 2020. Jones led an effort to get Gettysburg to remove Confederate flag images from the city's police department emblems. He's also been an active civil rights advocate since Floyd's death. Investigators in Rapid City are looking into what sparked a fire in the northern part of the city. Officials say it happened just before 2 o'clock Mountain Time Thursday afternoon in the 200 block of East Nolan Street. Crews arriving on the scene found smoke and flames coming from the living room window.
The Rapid City Fire Department shared this video of the scene. In it, you can see the flames and smoke flowing out of the house. Authorities say no one was home at the time of the fire, and there is damage to most of the first floor. Authorities in Aberdeen are investigating a garage fire in a residential division. Officials say crews from Aberdeen and Columbia fire departments were called to the Country Air Estates just before 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon.
Firefighters arriving on the scene found a garage engulfed in flames with multiple items, including a restored tractor inside. Crews were able to knock the fire down quickly, and no one was hurt.
Now let's get a check of this morning's weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. A wet start to the day for parts of KELOLAND, Brian.
Yes, indeed. We've got showers, thunderstorms still around and more to come. Let's take a look at the rain estimates here the last 24 hours. And certainly the area between Huron, Watertown to Aberdeen, that triangle, very good rain out of this last series of showers and thunderstorms. Another cluster around Winter to Chamberlain, that helping again. A little more sporadic, but west of Yankton, out in Bonham County, they picked up some nice rain in the northern part of the county. And, of course, the west, more rain. It's been raining a lot lately in Rapid City in the west, and we're going to see another round. Now, this big system we've been talking about is coming out of the Intermountain West this morning, counterclockwise circulation, and as that comes out of Salt Lake City, that's going to be a little bit of a problem for us because now we're going to start to kick up the severe weather quite a bit. The enhanced risk level is now out for the Black Hills in response to this storm system. I do expect that rain's going to track towards Sioux Falls, too, late tonight. So keep an eye on the weather. We'll be back with more on the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Well, tomorrow marks 20 years since 67 tornadoes swept across KELOLAND. On June 24th, 2003, the small town of Manchester was flattened.
The EF4 tornado that hit the community in Kingsbury County produced winds between 165 and 200 miles an hour. Before the storm hit, Manchester only had about 10 buildings.
We were pretty much getting, the baby's room all ready and cribs set up and that kind of thing. So, yeah, so it's kind of a stressful time for us.
Once a thriving railroad town, the 3 or 4 families who lived in Manchester in 2003 would not rebuild. The only sign of Manchester today is a monument that sits at the site of the old town hall. The city of Sturgis is being taken over by a variety of Camaros.
The 12th annual Sturgis Camaro Rally got underway late Wednesday night. This 4-day rally will feature several events each day as drivers keep pulling in.
We have the autocross out at the Thunderdome. That starts at 10 o'clock. Saturday, we have our show and shine, which is in the downtown corridor of Main Street area in Sturgis.
The Camaro rally will continue through Sunday. A Parker man says staying active is one of the secrets to reaching 90 years old.
Earl Joffer just hit the milestone birthday this week, and age isn't slowing him down. He still fixes cars, including a 1931 Ford Model A.
I've done everything. I've changed whole bodies on cars where the frame was damaged.
The family is celebrating this weekend, and the kids are expecting hundreds to show up.
Taylor Swift's highly anticipated Eras Tour is coming to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis this weekend, and many South Dakota Swifties are expected to attend.
The concert begins at 6:30 both Friday and Saturday. Digital reporter Gracie Terrell has all the details on bag policies, parking, and Taylor Swift-related activities on our website now.
And several ducklings are back with their mother after getting stuck in a storm drain in T. Police say the ducklings were waddling down Heritage Parkway when they fell into the drain.
The T Volunteer Fire Department climbed in to rescue them. First responders checked the ducklings to make sure they were okay before releasing them.
And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, well, probably some more rain going down those drains. As we look upon this forecast, we've got showers, thunderstorms. Some of this is already ongoing this morning. We've had even more rain than what we're showing here on Futurecast. We've had some cells popping up through Madison, Watertown again, Clark. You look out here northwest of Pierre, there's been rain too. We're not done. This is just only, in fact, this is really going to be probably the most active part of the forecast is the next 12 to 24 hours. One batch of storms. Look at this on radar tonight. We've got cells popping up there in the Black Hills. Any of those could become strong to severe. Also Chamberlain, there are definitely some risks of some large hail and damaging winds with any of those storms. And then this will probably consolidate into at least a couple of line segments that roll across the region. There's rain forecast from Mobridge all the way down into central Nebraska. Now the thinking is this will hold together to some extent all the way to Sioux Falls. If that looks strange to you, probably does, because guess what? We haven't had a storm system like this the whole season so far. We've had a lot of trouble getting weather to move from west to east, and certainly we've had a lot of trouble getting a whole line to form. But I think we've got a shot at that tonight. We seem to have a lot more data supporting the rain. Now, some of that should make it all the way into south central Minnesota tomorrow morning. You might think we're done, but there's still a couple of things here going on Saturday. We've got pop-up areas of thunderstorms that should regenerate, especially if Sioux Falls kind of hangs on to some more humidity in the afternoon. And if we make it into the 80s, we should have enough instability to spark some scattered thunderstorms. And then in the northeast, where you're closer to the low pressure circulation, do you see these temperatures? They're going downhill, and we could easily see a start to Sunday morning cooler. And there's actually a component of wind that rakes behind this that might catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. Could be a swath of 20 to 40 mile-an-hour winds. And if that happens to affect Sioux Falls, we've already cut our high a little bit here. And I want to make sure that we're aware of that as a possibility of leading into Sunday. There's your weather map tomorrow. Again, the main cold front should get through Sioux Falls before it fires up new storms. And the Storm Prediction Center, and I would agree, has the worst of the severe weather tomorrow in Iowa and southern Minnesota. So if you're traveling that direction, east of Fairmont, east of Storm Lake, Iowa, yeah, there absolutely could be more severe weather that way. Behind it, though, it's more of a hodgepodge of storms. And so a lot of that will tend to diminish after sunset. And then there's that wraparound rain and wind. Look at all those wind arrows on Sunday afternoon. And those little instability showers could very well cut into our highs on Sunday afternoon. Beyond that, well, the next thing up for business next week, it looks like we're probably in a quieter pattern Monday, Tuesday. And then another low is going to try to zip in from the northwest the middle of next week. So we'll see what that brings us. You know, obviously it's going to take more than one rain to cure a drought problem, but at least it's a start. And I would say a couple other things too. The temperature forecast next week, not as hot. So you kind of link all those things together. I think it's encouraging news. And for folks who like summer, you know, we still have 80-degree weather. Aberdeen looking at pretty good shots of rain tonight into tomorrow. That wraparound could easily affect Sunday. I'm even thinking that 80 could be dropped in Aberdeen a few degrees if the newest information trends the way it's going right now. Pierre in central South Dakota, 80 there on Sunday. And then looking ahead to Rapid City, don't forget tonight, weather aware, we've got severe weather anticipated, highs in the upper 70s today, lingering shot at rain tomorrow. More details on the forecast online at KEVLAND.com.